A missing boy. A stranger from across the ocean. And a family that accepted him, even though they knew he wasn't their son. This isn't just a story about a disappearance. It's a story about how far people will go to bury the truth. June 13, 1994. It was a scorching afternoon in San Antonio, Texas. 13-year-old Nicholas Barclay had just finished playing basketball with friends. Barefoot. Sweaty. A little reckless, but still just a kid. He called home from a payphone. He asked for a ride. His mother said no. So Nicholas told her he'd walk. Just a few blocks. He never made it. No one saw him after that call. Not his friends. Not the neighbors. Not even a single blurry security camera. It was as if the Texas heat had swallowed him whole. At first, people thought he ran away. But then the hours turned to days. The days turned to years. And slowly, Nicholas Barclay became a ghost in plain sight. But 3 years later, a boy would reappear. He'd say he was Nicholas. He'd say he survived hell. And somehow, people would believe him. 3 years. That's how long Nicholas Barclay had been gone. No leads. No body. No answers. His face faded from the news. His name became a whisper in his own neighborhood. Until a phone rang in Texas. On the other end, a social worker in Spain. "We found a boy," she said. "He says, he's Nicholas Barclay." The boy was discovered wandering the streets of Linares, a small town in southern Spain. He was thin. Dirty. Wrapped in a hoodie too big for him. He wouldn't speak to police. Wouldn't eat. Wouldn't make eye contact. Then, softly, he whispered, "I'm Nicholas. I'm from Texas." His story was horrific. He said he'd been kidnapped, held in a dark cell for years, drugged and abused by a ring of child traffickers. That they'd dyed his hair. Changed his eye color. Taken his memories. It sounded impossible. But when the embassy called Beverly Barclay, Nicholas's mother, she didn't hesitate. "Bring him home," she said. The headlines exploded. Miracle Boy returns after 3 years. But miracles always come with questions. And soon, this one would start to fall apart. The cameras were rolling when he stepped off the plane. The boy was wrapped in a sweatshirt, hood low, eyes down. A mother ran to him, arms wide, voice shaking. "My baby, you're home." But something was wrong. Not just one thing. Everything. Nicholas Barclay had blue eyes. This boy's eyes were brown. Nicholas had been 13. This boy looked older, maybe 17, maybe 20. His accent wasn't American. It was French. The FBI took notice. They asked him questions, he answered like he'd rehearsed them. They asked for fingerprints, he refused. But the family? The family didn't seem to care. They welcomed him in. Called him Nicholas. Said trauma changes people. Said they knew it was him, deep down. But neighbors whispered, "That's not Nicholas." One teacher said, "He doesn't even walk like him." Still, the boy stayed. Slept in Nicholas's old bed. Wore Nicholas's clothes. Ate at Nicholas's table. And all the while, one chilling thought began to surface. Was he lying? Or worse? Was the family pretending not to know? The questions were getting louder. Why did the family accept him so easily? Why didn't they notice his eyes, his voice, his age? The FBI finally forced the issue. They took fingerprints. Ran facial recognition. And within hours, the truth shattered the entire lie. He wasn't Nicholas Barclay. He wasn't American. He wasn't even a teenager. His real name was Frederick Bourdon. A 23-year-old Frenchman. A professional impostor. Over the years, he'd impersonated dozens of missing children across Europe. He memorized names, dates, family histories. He'd lie, then live inside the lie. But Nicholas Barclay? That was his most dangerous con. Because this time, the family didn't push him away. They pulled him in. Called him their son. When agents confronted him, Frederick didn't run. He looked at them, calmly, and said, "They knew I wasn't Nicholas. But they needed me to be." That single sentence changed everything. Because it wasn't just a lie. It was a suggestion. A crack in the surface. A whisper that maybe the family was hiding something too. The FBI had exposed Frederick Bourdon. He was arrested. Charged. Convicted. But the case didn't close. It cracked open. Because the question wasn't just, who is this man? The real question was, where is the real Nicholas Barclay? The agents turned their eyes back to the family. Nicholas's older brother, Jason, had a violent past. He was the last person to see Nicholas alive. Jason refused to talk to police. Refused a polygraph. He became angry. Paranoid. Then, just months after Frederick was arrested, Jason died. Overdose. No note. No warning. Some said guilt killed him. Others said, silence did. The rest of the family stopped talking too. They never asked Frederick for answers. Never took legal action. Not even when the truth came out. For the FBI, it felt like a wall had been hit. No witnesses. No body. No confession. Just one possibility that refused to die. Nicholas never made it out of that house in 1994. And Frederick Bourdon wasn't hiding a crime. He had walked straight into one. Frederick Bourdon served just 6 years in prison. When he got out, he changed his name again. Moved again. And then, he impersonated more missing children. But in all the lies he ever told, there was one he kept coming back to. Nicholas. He said something in an interview once. Calm. Cold. Unshaken. I didn't steal a life. I stepped into a lie that was already waiting for me. To this day, Nicholas Barclay remains officially missing. There is no body. No charges. No trial. Just a mother who doesn't speak to reporters. A dead brother. And a house where the truth went quiet. So we're left with a question. Not where Nicholas went. But why no one ever truly looked for him. This isn't just a story about a boy who vanished. It's about what happens when the truth becomes too terrible to speak out loud. Because sometimes, it doesn't scream. It whispers. If this story left you thinking, tell us what you believe happened. Did Nicholas run away? Or did someone in that house silence him forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more true stories where the truth doesn't scream, hit subscribe. Here, we don't chase noise. We listen to the whispers.